If you've been watching my videos of me doing the knife show, and you know, the one where I had to do that unpleasant task of moving inventory, then you know that's one of the drawbacks of this job that I've taken with the knife gig. Well, I have to disassemble at the end of each show. I have to disassemble that whole display, that table, that booth that you saw with me selling the knives, as well as there's a little side table that holds up all the knives for people to buy. And it's fairly big and heavy. And then whatever knife is left over, I have to transport to the next location. Now, what I did coming from the NEX to here was I just laid it all out on my bed. And I put the knife, I laid the booth that I disassembled on the bed, and I put the knife underneath. There's like cases of knives under there. See that? I don't know if you can see that, but there are cases of knives. But the problem is this. Obviously, this is a pain to disassemble the bed and do all that. And there's also a danger with the booth material flying around because it's just sliding on the bed. So as much as I don't want to, I've decided I'm going to have to remove this drawer unit down here. That way I can just store the big sheets of the booth when it's disassembled under here. And on top of that, stack up the knives, just slide it on top of the booth. So that stuff won't slide around and fly. And I can easily take things in and out instead of messing up my whole bed and living area. What that means is I'm going to lose all this storage right here. Now, when I had designed this with all these 6 extra drawers here, it was done so that my wife and I could take some road trips, some weekenders, and have plenty of stuff to take with us. So I didn't really use this section that much, except for carrying my tools and whatnot. So it looks like I'm going to have to remove all this and figure out what I'm going to do. But I'll end up having to remove this wooden area too, this wooden shelving, which allows the stuff to come out like that, so it goes over the lip. But I'm going to remove that because if I leave that there, then the wood from the booth will sit on it and be really heavy. And when I put the knives on it, it's going to collapse. It'll just rip apart my walls here. So removing this is going to be too hard. It's just going to be a matter of unscrewing these little L brackets, and then I can have the whole unit out and the modification is done. That is one of the features of this particular build. And building your own vehicle, you can always adapt it to suit your needs. And right now my needs is to use it as a vehicle to transport the booth back and forth, as well as some knife inventory when I have to move from one location to location. But it also has to easily be converted back into camper mode, which when I remove all this is going to be a lot of storage. Now I do have that portal, that emergency toilet in there, which I'm probably going to have to remove also to ensure that I have a big space underneath for everything to slide. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do about that, or maybe make do without it. Because I have access to Planet Fitness, and also my work location has bathrooms. It's usually not an issue. So far I haven't had to use it. The only time I would have to use it if it was like an emergency and we were out in the middle of nowhere, which probably isn't going to happen. I know that the last time I did the knife gig, when I was down in South Florida, I never had to use the emergency bathroom at all. So I may go ahead and remove that the toilet system. That way I'll have this whole space underneath for storing the booth as well as the knives. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and take everything apart. It's just a matter of pulling out the drawers. You can see I had food here. And I'm going to be just removing all these drawers out and reorganizing everything, and unscrewing all these things and removing it all. It took all of like less than a minute to remove all the drawers. Now it's going to be a simple matter of unscrewing all the L brackets right there that are holding everything down. This particular side I had to unscrew the drawers so I can access the L brackets. This other side, I think I'm going to have to unscrew it too, maybe, to access the L brackets. Should take only a few minutes. With the drawers, the side drawers out of the way, access to the L brackets is easy now. So I should be able to just unscrew those and take it out. basically just unscrewing these L brackets here, and oops, I'm having a hard time trying to do this one-handed and film it, but and once that's done, which it is, it's just an issue of pulling the whole unit out. Easy peasy. There we have it. I'll set this down here for now. And now I'm going to have all this storage underneath here. So I'm looking at the spacing, and I think I will have to remove the toilet. It's kind of bad. But it's not something I use or have had to use yet. I have to figure out another solution. But anyhow, for now I'm going to have all this storage underneath here just to hold the booth and the knives. You can see how big the boxes are. I think that's enough space there between the top and the bottom to carry the booth and then some boxes of knives on top. That should allow me to carry any inventory I have from one store to the other, as well as the display booth. Alright, all that remains to be done now is to disassemble our emergency toilet system. I might even go ahead and clear out that side panel there. What I'm talking about is that beam, the board right there, because we're removing the whole toilet system. So that way I have all this space totally across for the knives as well as the board. The really versatile thing about this particular build is that you can see how easy it was to strip it down to become a cargo carrier. You lose this space here for the side where the drawers and this cabinet, this little storage area here is, but you have all this space so you can still carry things. So it's just a matter of removing the toilet seat. For those of you who didn't see the episode where I did that, it's just got these beams here holding it in place. And, it's screwed down on the top so you can work the toilet and use it like a regular toilet. You can see you can use this just like a regular bathroom. And you do your business there, seal up the bags, and then dump it in an appropriate facility. But you can see here, I just extended that out. You could easily just get a 2x4 and go across, but I didn't have a 2x4 handy, so I took those and just extended it out. Now, I may unscrew this whole thing, or I might just leave it and just do this part, because there's a chance I can reconvert this back to an emergency toilet. So let me try just removing the this part here, and then I'll see if I can't keep this, because if I can keep that, it's going to be better in case I want to convert this back to the current setup, which I really like because it's got a full-size emergency bathroom in it. Alright, unscrewing it by hand with a regular screwdriver. It's taking forever, so I went ahead and hooked up the power tool here. This just makes it so much faster. Look how fast this is going compared to me sitting here for half an hour trying to unscrew everything. So we're going to be able to just unscrew all this stuff in a few minutes with the power tool. I did a quick test fitting, and you can see there's plenty of room for the booth thingy to fit in here. When I stack it up, it'll be this high. But I can also see right now that if I don't do something about that side, that edge, when I slam on the brakes, everything's going to slide out. So I have to put a wall on that end to close off the section so that it doesn't fly. So we're going to see what we can do about that real quick here. This might not be the sturdiest build ever, but you can see I'm taking what was the shelving, the unit that held up the shelf here, and I'm just going to screw it into that wood that's sticking out. I don't know if you can see that. I'm glad I left those wooden panels there, because otherwise that other board doesn't go across. It's too short, because it was designed to fit in between, not all the way across. But I am going to go ahead and just screw that in like that, because it's only designed to kind of keep this from sliding around. Hopefully it doesn't, I don't slam on the brakes real hard and it slams through. So I'm just going to screw along the edge there and hold the thing in place and have a little cargo area back here. screwing these guys in was a little bit of work. There wasn't a lot of space, but I did manage to get it in. So here it is. It's not super stable, super strong. Maybe I'll put another piece here, another screw. Yeah, I think I got another screw right here. Help hold it from sliding around. But you can see there's now an actual storage bin area here in the back where I can store the booth and the knives. And that should make it safer. The issue with just laying these on top of the bed was that it would slide when you slam on the brakes. So that's a hazard. It can either hit me while I'm driving, or it can fly out the rear window door area, you know, the glass. So by having it underneath here, it'll be under the bed, out of the way. I can easily move stuff. So the van now is actually quite versatile as far as functioning between a camper and a hauler to haul items. So hopefully this will work. We'll go ahead and try it out and see what happens. It's a good thing I played Tetris as a kid. I was able to lay out everything kind of semi-flat, except for this last piece here. But you can see it fits perfectly. And now all that remains to do is to see how much room I have for the boxes of knives to go on top. That will allow everything to be carried under the bed until I get to the new location where I can remove it and put it back into the store. So that'll allow me to drive safely without fear of stuff flying everywhere. And meanwhile, I'm taking advantage of all this space for storage and to haul things. Here then is what things start to look like as I put the boxes in place. This is slightly up, but I'm thinking, let me try to put that board across and see how that looks. And if that fits, then this is perfect. It's almost as if it was designed to do this. The joys of building on the fly. And a little bit of luck. You can see this fits perfectly. There's just enough clearance there for the box to go in and not fly around. So the bedding can go right on top of all this. I can carry like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 boxes, 5 boxes of inventory under here. And of course I can stuff other items up at the front seats and whatnot. I don't keep them in my van. I won't be keeping them in my van except for when I'm transporting them. That's the key. Because all this stuff, when I get to the store, I remove it from the van and put it into the store. So I don't leave any of this stuff in my van, which means it can be cluttered while I'm transporting it. But as soon as I get to the location, I take it all out so the van can be easily reconverted back into camper mode. So I think this is fantastic. This is going to work a lot better than what I was doing, which was just tossing everything on the bed. Here then is what my inventory looks like, or my bed set up with the supplies for the booth. I actually have room for one more case of knives right here. And this is just enough room, I think, to put the seat. And I can lay the top board on top. So let's try that and make sure that fits. You can see the board fits fine. The only problem is, because I'm now missing the shelving unit, you know, the section that was here holding up part of the bed, I may have to get a larger piece of wood here, like maybe by another 8 inches, 6 or 8 inches longer, to make the whole bed complete so it doesn't have a gap here where you can fall through. May have to go pick up another piece of wood, or get another scrap piece of wood to fill in the missing piece, or just cut another one. We'll see. I did a test fitting by pushing the front piece of board across, and I see that I actually do have like probably about 14 or 15, 14 or 6, about 14 inches. Yeah, that was the size of the drawer units that were back here. So I need to cut a piece that's about 14 inches to go across here as a final platform for the bed. Otherwise, you can't use this section here. So it looks like I will definitely need another piece of board right here to come across. So it's time to look through the scraps and see if we can't find that piece. After looking at several pieces of scrap wood that I had pulled from the hurricane that people were throwing away, they're all kind of dirty and bad because they got wet. But I'm going to go ahead and try to use this piece right here. It's not the best looking piece in the world, and it's really dirty on the underside. See all that crap? But I think I can cut this and use it. I think it's going to be the right size, and I'm going to try to sand it down to at least clean it up a little bit before I put it into the van. But we're just going to cut the straight line and use this piece. It's just meant to go right over here, right over the end, or the other end. It doesn't really matter, but I may put it by the end towards my feet, so I don't breathe any of this crap if it's mold. But we'll see how it works. Okay, an initial test fitting shows that while this width here is perfect, and even the you know how long it is here this way, it's a little too small. So you're gonna have this lip here. And I could put it on the other end, but you're still gonna have a lip on that seam right there, and that can be a potential problem when you're trying to sleep, because you'll feel this lip. So I need to get a thicker piece of wood. So this isn't gonna do. We're gonna have to go with another piece. So back to the drawing board. So after assessing the situation with that wood right there being all dirty and moldy, as well as too not thick enough, I was looking around at all the wood I have, and most of it is dirty and moldy because it's hurricane wood and from wood also from Camp Freedom 2. I've decided to go ahead and use these little tiny little beams here. It was one long strip and I cut it into the right width to go across, but they're all going to be loose and they will fly around. So we're going to actually have to screw these guys in, which I didn't want to do, but I think I can make it work. So let's see if we can fit it in the way I'm hoping it'll fit. Alright, I didn't want to screw these guys in. I thought of screwing them in so that they don't fly around. You know, they'll hold place, and then I can take this piece and that piece off. And then this piece would just stay here as a beam. But then it makes it less versatile. Then I can't carry like really tall items here. So I think it's going to be better to have it so you can remove it. And my plan will be to get another piece of board that is nice board like this or that one to lay across here at about this width right here. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and use these slats like this, and I can just see how it holds up. See if it doesn't fall apart on me. Hopefully it'll hold up and it won't slide and fall apart. I may tack them together somehow, like with tape or something, just to try to hold them in place. Or I could put a little, board across the end here just to hold them in place, which I might do. Just to make it like one sheet instead of a whole bunch of little loose ones. Although that might make it harder to, I think I'm just complicating it. We'll go ahead and leave it like it is right now and see how this works. And if I need to change it, I'll go ahead and change it out. Here then is my completed new bedding system here. Not much different than the old one. Got a nice twin-size bed here, mattress. And lots of storage underneath this time. I think it's going to work. I guess we're going to find out when we field test it when we head out to Daytona. It does have some storage here on this slot here, so I'm going to have to try to figure out what I can put here. Maybe some drawers. That way I can put food and other items, because I hate to see wasted space. But whatever I put in, I want to make sure I can easily move it in and out. I don't think it'll hold a full width drawer like what I currently have, but it might hold these small little skinny ones. So we might try to put that in, or just leave it like this and put some boxes or something. Maybe I'll make a custom drawer or box that slides in there to hold food and other items that I can use in the van. Because this section still needs to be left as a convertible, easily converted back to become a regular seat. Because I still do pick up my kids on the weekend, so this van still has to function as a regular people carrier. But I think this is going to have to do. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I guess we'll get to see how this works when I head out to Daytona, so stay tuned. In the meantime, I hope you're all having a great day. I wanted to wish you all a safe and productive week, and hopefully this will work. Until next time, everybody, take care.